When a secluded town in the North Carolina Piedmont is plagued by eerie occurrences, a skeptical journalist and a determined scientist must uncover the truth behind the Lovecraftian entity terrorizing the community, as narrated by the enigmatic digital Nightstalker. The underlying theme explores the fear of the unknown and the thin line between science and superstition, emphasizing the power of knowledge and human resilience against ancient, incomprehensible horrors. Genre sci-fi horror. Dark, eerie, and suspenseful with moments of intense terror and a lingering sense of dread. Audience adults, 18 and older, fans of horror and sci-fi, particularly those who enjoy Lovecraftian lore and investigative thrillers. A subplot involves the journalist's estranged relationship with his daughter, Mrs. Jackson, who lives in the town, and his attempt to reconnect with her amidst the chaos. This subplot highlights themes of reconciliation and personal redemption. The story is set in a small, isolated town in the North Carolina Piedmont, characterized by dense forests, abandoned factories, and mist-covered hills. The atmosphere is, well, claustrophobic and unsettling, contributing to the overall sense of dread. Detective. The journalist's investigation into the strange events. Monster in the house. The Lovecraftian entity haunting the town. Protagonist named Jack Randall. Physical description: late 40s, rugged with a weathered face and piercing blue eyes. Personality traits: cynical, determined, resourceful, haunted by past failures. Archetypes: hero, detective, ghost. Jack's unresolved guilt over a failed investigation that cost lives. Lie believes that uncovering the truth will always lead to justice. Want to expose the truth behind the town's horrors. Need to accept that some truths are beyond human understanding and to protect those he loves. The Nameless Horror. A shapeless, eldritch entity, constantly shifting and defying comprehension. It is malevolent, ancient, and enigmatic. As a beast and evil personified, this ancient being was awakened by the disturbance of its resting place. It believes that it can reclaim its dominion over the human world. It wants to spread chaos and reclaim its ancient power, but it needs to be returned to its dormant state. Dr. Miss Jackson. In her mid-30s, she is intelligent and composed with a determined gaze. Rational, compassionate, and brave, she stands as the sage and caregiver of the story. She lost her brother to an unexplained phenomenon and believes that science can explain and control everything. Driven by a desire to find a scientific explanation for the supernatural occurrences, she needs to acknowledge the limitations of science and embrace the unknown. Sarah Randall. In her early 20s, she resembles her father, with sharp features and a wary demeanor. Independent and resilient, she is distrustful of her father. As the orphan and explorer, she feels abandoned by her father after her mother's death. She believes that she doesn't need anyone, especially her father. Her want is to survive and protect the town she calls home, but she needs to reconcile with her father and accept his love and protection. In the heart of Piedmont, strange events have begun to unfold. Jack Randall, known to some as the digital Nightstalker, arrives in the town. His estranged daughter, Sarah, had pleaded for his help, drawing him into the eerie atmosphere of the town. Reports of disappearances and sightings of a nameless horror fill the air with dread. Jack meets Dr. Miss Jackson, a determined scientist conducting her own investigation into these mysterious occurrences. Their first encounter with the horror is a chilling, barely glimpsed terror that leaves them both shaken. Despite their initial distrust, Jack and Dr. Miss Jackson form an uneasy alliance, driven by a common goal. Jack's attempts to reconnect with Sarah are fraught with tension, as he faces her resentment and the weight of their strained relationship.
You've been doing this a long time, haven't you?
Sighing. Too long. Lost good people along the way.
And yet you keep going. Why?
Serious, because someone has to. These things, these horrors, they don't stop, and neither can I.
Softly. It must be a heavy burden.
Nodding. It is, but if I don't do it, who will? I can't let what happened before happen again.
Maybe it's time you stopped carrying all this alone.
Maybe you're right. It's time I start trusting others again. Cut to...
There are places in this world that hold secrets. Dark secrets that whisper in the night, waiting to be discovered. My name is Jack Randall, and I'm here to listen. Jack Randall. All right, Piedmont, let's see what you've got. It started with strange occurrences, unexplained disappearances, whispers of a nameless horror lurking in the shadows. The deeper I went, the stronger the sense of unease, as if the very air was alive with anticipation. Jack Randall, what the hell was that? Little did I know, the horrors that awaited were far beyond any story I had ever told.